All right, thanks everyone. First question will be Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star.
Coach, good to see you. What kind of season are you expecting out of Jamari Joyner, and what did he show you in that ASU game in particular that he can really have a big season this year?
Yeah, I think you could see the how relaxed he was out there. Just now, for his first season being a receiver for us, just the impact he did, the explosive plays he made for us in that game. What a great game for him to kind of build off. I think now we know what he can do on the field at that slot position and just the playmaking ability. So obviously, just game planning wise, he's put it on tape for us. So now we know where we can put him on the field, different looks by different coverages, week in, week out.
Next question will go Michael Lev, Arizona Daily Star.
Hey there, Coach. Just to follow up on that a little bit, Jamari, I think primarily played out of the slot last year. Is he still doing that, or is he moving all over the formation?
That's a good question. I think right now we're kind of putting him in the slot position, but that's just because of fall camp. I think today was number 9 for practice, but there'll be times where we can move him outside. Just about the matchup, where we're on the field. What we like from film, what his strength and weakness, what we're looking for. And but there will be a future for him playing outside as well in the game plan.
Sure. Who in your group do you feel like has made the biggest leap since last year? It can be more than one guy, but who kind of fits that description?
I would say Booby Curry. I think Booby has made tremendous strides in his, top of the routes, the fundamentals. Kind of came into Arizona a little banged up. And kind of had to find a way to get on the field. So he battled some injuries early, but coming in healthy, Coach Brian Johnson's done an unbelievable job with his body of getting stronger, faster, working on, all the little details in route running. And you can just tell the confidence and how smooth he is running routes, and you can see the separation.
Next question will go Jason Shear, Wildcat Authority.
Hey, Coach. Beyond those two guys, just can you talk about the depth of the position overall and just, I guess, overall the position?
Yeah, I mean, we're we got a lot of guys that bought big guys. I think pretty much the outside receiver room plus Jamari, we're averaging about 6'1". So, we got guys that can, play big on the field that we need, especially in critical downs. Guys that can run, but a lot of guys like Castile now playing a little bit outside receiver. You got Drew Dixon, Stan Berryhill, Booby Curry, Majon Wright, Dylan Miller. The list kind of goes on with guys that are stepping up and getting that chance to play. But, going into year 3, that's when it kind of starts clicking with the offense where, they know what we mean when we're installing plays, and there's less thinking, they're just playing fast.
Just to follow up with Castile specifically, how valuable is it that he could play pretty much, it seems like, any of the wide receiver positions?
Yeah, I mean, he just brings that natural element that you want in that outside receiver. Very football savvy. Football IQ is, he's like a quarterback out there like Jamari. He can see the coverages from everything from down and distance. He's a guy that, you want the ball in his hands as well. So he's a great guy that you can put out in space and, let him go to work.
Next question will go back to Michael Lev.
Taylor, what's the outlook for Drew Dixon this year? I noticed even in the little highlight video that you guys posted on Twitter, he threw a block that sprung Dylan Miller for a touchdown.
Yeah, the one thing you're going to get from Drew Dixon is competitiveness. He loves the game. And I think right now, the more he's learning the offense, the more reps he gets with Grant, he's getting more comfortable out there. And that's what we need for Drew. We need Drew to get out there and, get him in a position where he can succeed. I think last year, up and down season, that he knew he probably wanted to be more consistent, and he knows that. And the way he handled the offseason from the end of, spring ball and throughout till now, he worked his butt off day in, day out in the weight room, in the film room. So I'm excited for him.
Given the depth and the number of guys that you have outside, do you expect Majon and Dylan to contribute as freshmen?
I do because of the unique situation of this season. Let's see what they got. We want to put them out there in competitive situations, especially with the season we have. I do believe these guys, once they get a little bit more practice time and experience, we want those guys. So when we know by the end of the season what we have with those young guys.
We've heard from several people about Grant Gunnell's improvements over the course of the offseason, changes to his physical game as well as his demeanor? What have you noticed?
I am a true believer that you can, in some ways, develop stronger arm by, working out, but I've never seen a guy like Grant actually use his, the weight room as a big element of his arm strength. I'm not saying he had a weak arm last year, but I'm saying the velocity on the ball, we as receivers know coming out of breaks, there's a different spin on it. And that's the most impressive thing. So you could tell in his lower half, his legs, he's driving the ball more with his legs. And that's the big key in his throwing motion, is getting the ball to us, is that leg drive. And he's done a great job getting the ball to us at the right time.
We have any more questions for Coach? Yes, Michael, go ahead.
To jump back in here, you go up against the defensive backs every practice, obviously. Who in that group has stood out to you when you were breaking down the film after practice and stuff?
It's really cool to go against Lorenzo Burns because of the experience and what he's seen. So, playing in this conference, the receivers he's gone through. So when you run routes with him, he's going to make you a better player. Iron sharpens iron. So we think that, every day competing with Lorenzo, it's a special moment for you to get better, because that's an elite DB to go against. And then Christian Roland-Wallace has done an unbelievable job just being physical. He's been, has so much experience last year at DB. He's a guy now that, can give us problems. And when he gets physical with you, it's difficult. So just learning technique to get open with Christian has been a fun challenge. And I love watching our guys going against those two guys day in and day out.
At any position, is there a freshman or a couple of freshmen that you guys are often find yourselves talking about when the coaches are getting together? Like, hell, man, did you see what so-and-so did today? Or, man, so-and-so is really standing out.
Obviously, you got to be a little bit selfish with the guys in your room. So obviously I'm talking about the receivers. I'm talking about Majon and Dye. Will Plummer, his ball velocity is unbelievable. He's a guy that makes plays out there. One of those guys. Our new center, Josh, he's been a great one as well. So those guys have been pretty impressive.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Everyone will be back in just a minute with Jamari Joyner.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
All right. Questions for Jamari Joyner, please raise your hand. Yes, Michael Lev, Arizona Daily Star.
Hey there, Jamari. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. So you obviously had an injury situation that you had to deal with in the off season. How would you assess your health right now, your speed, fitness, all of those things?
I'm ready to go. I put myself in the best position during the off season to get my body 100%. I feel that if we had a game tomorrow, I'll be ready to go.
Sure. Can you kind of walk us through the sequence of events, like when it happened, how it happened, and also the decision to have surgery?
Yeah. So all of last season, my football players know that when you break in cleats, you get that feeling in your foot that your feet are hurting. And I pretty much had that feeling all season. So I didn't think of anything of it because we always got new cleats and breaking in cleats during the week. So I thought my foot was just breaking in cleats. So all of last season, I had that issue with my foot. And pretty much during early February, I went into the training room and I was like, my foot is kind of bothering me when I plant and when I make certain movements. So I went in, and Lanny, one of the trainers, he pushed on my foot and he was like, that's not good, because I was grimacing when he pushed on it. So they took that time to get me x-rayed in February, and it came back and I had a fracture in my foot, a Jones fracture in my foot. So basically from February to 6 months after that, I was out. I wasn't running routes. I got surgery probably in the middle of May. And I just, from there on, I was just trying to get back right.
So are you saying you conceivably played on a broken foot for a portion of last season?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Next question, Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star.
But you had a really good game against ASU. Take us through that game and kind of how that game really sets you up for this year.
Yes, sir. So that game set me up for this year just to showcase my talent and showcase what I can do. The role I play for the University of Arizona is just being a ball player and just playing for my team. It's just motivating because going into this year, it's just momentum, just showing that we're going to be on the right track coming in this year and just playing our hearts out.
And what did you take away from the times that Grant was able to get some playing time last year, especially that game against Stanford?
Yeah, so during that game, I took away that we're going to be okay. Grant is a phenomenal quarterback. He's hungry and he's consistent. When he went in, we were a consistent team. So Grant has showed me and all the receivers that we're going to move the ball and we're going to put that ball in the end zone every drive.
Next question will go Jason Shear, Wildcat Authority.
Hey, Jamari, Coach Mazzoni mentioned that you might be playing a little quarterback at times. Is that something that you went to him with or he went to you? And I see you're smiling. What?
I'm always bugging Coach Mazzoni. I'm always like, so when we put that quarterback in, I'm always ready. That arm is still there. So I'm always joking with him and making jokes here and there. But we're most definitely going to see some packages.
Next question will go back to Michael Lev.
You obviously can't say any more about that. So Coach Taylor Mazzoni was saying that Grant has got maybe like a different spin to the ball. Maybe the velocity has jumped since last year. As a receiver, do you notice that, and how do you notice it?
Yes, sir. I noticed that. It's big time. Last year, obviously, freshmen, when they come in, they're not as strong as a college athlete yet. So he really took it upon himself this offseason to really get his strength down and spin the ball. I've noticed it as a receiver, just catching the ball, and as soon as I get out of my break, the ball is there, and it's coming with some heat. So that's a good thing to have, and I think that's the biggest thing he's improved on from a receiver standpoint.
Sure. So you obviously couldn't no one had a normal offseason, but your offseason was restricted because you couldn't run routes or whatever. So how did you work on your game during that time?
So working on my game, I pretty much capitalize on my IQ. I tell young athletes all the time, you don't have to be the most athletic, but you have to be the smartest in order to play as the most athletic. So I pretty much watch football every day. I watch film every day. I try to get everything down. I watch Deebo Samuel all the time, Julio Jones all the time, and try to really look at what they do in their routes and see how they get open and how they break down and where their hips are, where their arms are, their eyes are. So just little things like that help me capitalize on my game, because I was sitting down for 6 months. Like I couldn't move my toes for 3 months. Like it was super bad. So I'm just blessed to be here and blessed to be playing.
Deebo Samuel is kind of a big slot receiver. And that was, I guess, primarily the position you played last year. Is that still going to be your primary position, or are you learning all of them?
Yes, sir. As a receiver, you got to know all the positions. You got to know all the receiver positions, because my route can get the other receiver open. So primarily the slot is my position, but it just depends on scheme and where I'm going to be on the field, just matchups and strength and weaknesses in the defense.
Sure. And one more thing real quick. If the season had started when it was supposed to, on August 29th, do you think you would have been available then?
I would not have been available. I think, me personally, I would have held myself back. As bad as I wanted to play, I was probably like 60% ready. And that's not where I want to be when I'm playing, because that's how you get hurt. So it's just a blessing in disguise that our season got canceled and got pushed back, because everything works in our favor when we pray. So that's why I put it in.
Next question will go Ryan Wool, Arizona Daily Wildcat.
Hey, I was wondering what improvements or changes have you noticed in Grant Cannell's game since last season?
So obviously his arm has gotten a lot stronger. His reads have always been very good. His progressions have been very good. Just he's taken more leadership of the offense. Last year he was going back and forth with Khalil, coming in and out. So this year is really his offense, and he's taking leadership and ownership of everything that's going on. He's yelling at me, he's yelling at the running backs, get set, making sure everybody's on the line and on the ball, off the ball, motioning. He's really taking charge of the offense, and that's what we need in order to win these games, these 7 games that are coming up.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for one more question. For that, we'll go to Jason Shear, Wildcat Authority.
Which DB do you go against the most in practice, and what's that matchup like?
This year I go against Christian Young. Me and him go at it every day. Verbally, we're talking trash. Physically, we're going at it, blocking, running routes, guarding me, everything that you need to get better. So see why he's an NFL caliber guy, and I see myself as an NFL caliber receiver. So I feel like every day when we work against each other and run routes and he guards me, I feel like we're getting each other ready for the next level. So we take that very serious every rep we get.
All right, thank you, everybody. That's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow after practice.